it just hits you, you know, like, oh my God, you know, I don't know anybody. All my friends are in LA, you know, there's a language, I don't speak the language. It's a real issue. I feel like I don't understand the culture.
If there's something wrong, well, it's just, that's the way life is, and, you know, it will resolve itself, and, you know, if it doesn't get done today, it'll get done tomorrow.
Costa Rica is in southern Central America, with Nicaragua to the north and Panama to the south. Bordered by the Pacific and the Caribbean, the republic of 4.5 million is about the size of Switzerland or West Virginia or Vermont and New Hampshire combined. Christopher Columbus, Cristobal Colón in Spanish, was the first European to find Costa Rica, landing in 1502 on his fourth and last voyage. Grateful Costa Rica calls its unit of currency the colón. Today, Costa Rica's #1 industry is tourism, with 25% of the land protected as national parks and reserves. Nearly 1 million Americans a year come down to enjoy the green environment of rainforests, volcanoes, and almost unparalleled wildlife. Despite some dangerous riptides, Costa Rica's Pacific beaches attract hundreds of thousands of tourists to their inviting sands and playful schools of dolphins. It's no surprise then that more than 40,000 Americans have moved to Costa Rica in search of the good life, whether active or inactive. Costa Rica is comfortably forward-looking in many ways. You can safely drink the tap water. The president is a woman, Laura Chinchilla, who's from an old coffee-growing family. The second vice president is a Jewish guy, Luis Lieberman Ginsburg. The capital, San Jose, is a modest city of 2.1 million in the 3,000-foot-high Central Valley where 90% of Costa Ricans live and where the temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. Though coffee, bananas, and pineapples are still big exports, Intel has a huge plant turning out computer chips. Among the American full-time legal residents here, 11,000 living on Social Security alone, the most well-heeled gravitate to the San Jose suburb of Escazú, where you can see the latest IMAX movie for $5 or so. It's a good place to grow old with nationalized health care, but with the top-notch private FEMA hospital available. 2 ultra-modern malls offer familiar upscale stores, though import prices are high. You can hire a housemaid for $10 a day or 5,000 colones. Costa Rica is not paradise, though. Many roads are rutted horrors. While there's no army, there aren't enough police, and crime is the #1 concern of locals. Half the workforce seems to be security guards, many from Nicaragua, watching the other half of the workforce. Though the country is so Americanized that there's a San Jose neighborhood named Coca-Cola, it can seem a foreign place too. Some cars come from China. There are occasional flashes of hostility like this Costa Rica not for sale graffiti. There's a rainy season that lasts 6 months from May to November. Fewer tourists, but greener foliage. The culture can be inefficient. At the new 35,000-seat National Soccer Stadium, a gift from China, they built only 200 parking spaces. Californians Dave Truslow and Lucinda Gray moved to Santana near Escazú in August 2009. By now, they're adept at fielding questions from curious Americans they encounter about the pros and cons of retiring in Costa Rica.
And a lot of expats in the community, and we're having a pretty good time. There's no dangerous animals here. There's no poison oak, no poison ivy. There are snakes, but only a few of them are poisonous.
So you could live here on $2,000 a month, easily, and live like a king.
I don't know about a king. You know, $3,000 a month, you'd live like a king.
Can you own property here?
Oh, yeah.
Is it healthcare?
Healthcare is excellent.
We love the climate and the relaxed atmosphere. It's just very healing. My blood pressure went from 160 over 110 to 110 over 60.
It's more comfortable, you know, especially as you're older, especially with two people and two Social Security incomes. You're very wealthy compared to the average person. It's, you know, it's a little tight some months because we have extra expenses that we didn't count on, but we live very well.
And the food is so wonderful. It has wonderful flavor and it's fresh and it's ripened, you know, on the vine.
The national health system, which new residents must join, costs Dave and Lucinda only $48 a month for the two of them. They reserve its use for catastrophes.
Minor things like the flu or, you know, infection, we just go to private doctors.
We have a doctor in the town where we live and he speaks English and he is available. You know, I can call in the morning and get to see him in the afternoon. He makes house calls.
Rents range from $300 to $1,400 a month, Dave reports. If you want a McMansion, you can buy a big house a bit farther out on 2.5 acres for $350,000 to $500,000. Where a two-person household in the U.S. might pay up to $1,400 a month for groceries, Dave and Lucinda's monthly grocery bill is $400. There's no income tax, and the low property taxes don't even start until a house is worth $200,000. On the other hand, there's a value-added tax of 13% on practically everything. Dave and Lucinda have had no problem making friends.
Recently we had 2 parties in the space of 3 days. We joined a church, Unity, Costa Rica, which has been it's a lovely community. Then we joined Democrats Abroad, and then we have a focusing community here.
Lucinda has found she can maintain a small practice in her profession, psychology.
I see a few clients, and then I do some phone sessions with clients in the States. So it's enough for me with writing the book that I'm writing.
The couple somehow got through a rigorous process of red tape to become pensionados, legal residents as retirees. That involved collecting birth and marriage certificates, passports, and proof of Social Security payments, translating it all into Spanish, and running it by Costa Rican diplomats in New York and San Jose. Soaking up impressions of a new land, Dave and Lucinda have not yet decided whether they will stay in Costa Rica or return to the United States.
Little stuff like, it's just irritating, you know, like the roads, and like how people don't fix things right.
Petty theft is very common. We've lost a camera, we probably left it on a table, and when we came back it wasn't there, and nobody'd seen it. And another time we left a cell phone in a car, but we left the car unlocked. That relocation anxiety, culture shock goes away. I'm now down to this much slower vibration in my body. It's a process of, you know, can we stand being away from the family?
Sure.
Can we stand being away from our friends? Do we, you know, are we really going to adjust, you know, to the cultural differences?
This one couple's experience is worth considering if you are thinking of retiring to beautiful but surprisingly complex Costa Rica.